Gaming Morning Show continues, and we are excited to welcome in Kate Sánchez from But Why Tho podcast. As we talk to Kate quite often on this show, a chance to talk about Kaiju Week, recap everything that's been going on with the But Why Tho community, and of course, Godzilla versus Kong. Good morning, Kate. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing real good because, I saw a lot of my chunky boy all week.
So excited, so excited. It was all over the place, and we're going to talk about it. I have one question because I'm going to yield the floor to Lucas, Maiko, and Sean, because they've actually seen Godzilla vs. Kong, and they're very excited to talk to you about the movie. It is National Burrito Day, and so we need to know from you, do you have a strong preference of a burrito, and is burritos better than tacos?
Oh, that is such a loaded question. So in the part of Texas where I'm at, it's all tacos all the time. I personally don't think that there's a difference. It's filling with tortilla. Eat it, it's delicious. But preference of taco and or burrito is bean and cheese and bacon. That is a phenomenal combo. Because nothing, in my opinion, is stronger than the humble bean and cheese.
Oh, interesting. All right, good taste. All right, Mike, you've just been like boiling over for like an hour and a half, so I'm just gonna let you go for it.
So I gave myself homework last night. We were on with our good friend Chris until midnight Eastern, which I promptly then jumped onto HBO Max and watched Godzilla versus Kong. And I know what my impressions are, but I'm really interested to hear yours. So just what do you think? What were your impressions on the movie?
So I'm actually really sad because we're migrating the site right now, so I haven't been able to post my review because we can't update the site till the server migration is done. So I've been holding this all in. No, I loved it. The movie is really good on the kaiju half. I could have done with, there wasn't like any oomph moment for like the humans that we got in the last two films.
True.
Like Samuel Jackson in Skull Island was that big, like, oh, you realize how crappy humans are. Ken Watanabe in King of the Monsters was like, oh yeah, no, we can coexist and we can actually honor them. And this one was like, why are you here? Which is fine because giant monsters fighting each other. But I am a huge kaiju fan who thinks humans have a pretty good role to play in kaiju movies, in that they help us kind of see their scale and importance and impact. And I just wish that could have been done a little bit better. But are we doing spoilers?
Oof, I don't know if we should. That seems
Yeah,
a little
no,
too
right?
soon, right?
It's
Yeah,
probably
Okay.
avoid spoilers because it's so.
The final act,
dance around it.
the final act, and the full embrace of kaiju sci-fi nonsense is beautiful,
Yes.
and I nearly screamed.
Oh wow, scream!
There was yelling. There was yelling in this movie from me, hands down. And I don't do that at movies, but this one I was like, oh my god. So yeah.
We watched it. So I've seen it 3 times now. We watched it last night with our community for one of our community nights, and one of the guys watching it. It was funny because he clocked the ending, but he didn't know. And when it happened, it wasn't one of those, oh, ha, 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 I figured it out. It was, holy shit. Oh, sorry, I forgot if I could cuss or not. He was like, they did it, oh my god.
Guests are fine.
And it was probably the most hype that we've had that chat since like our Lord of the Rings watch party.
The movie was great. There was a lot of parts where you were just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm not a big one for going back and watching movies over and over again, but honestly, so I watched this one on my computer last night just because I didn't feel like setting up the theater downstairs, but I think I'm going to go back and set that up and do it again because it's totally that movie. So
this is the first time since the pandemic started where I wish I had been in a theater.
Absolutely. I wonder how much it is to rent out a theater for me to watch a movie by myself.
Probably $99.
I think here in Austin, it's $150 at the Alamo Draft House. I may have or may have not Googled it.
Worth it.
But
totally
Sean,
worth it.
Sean, you started it too as well.
Yeah, I got about 2/3 through before I couldn't do it anymore because I was dragging from a long day.
Oh.
But back to the human element, I feel like with the series up to this point, so many news stories we saw like, oh, there's only so many minutes of King Kong. There's only this many minutes of Godzilla. Like, get rid of. Why are the humans so important? I feel like they shifted almost too far the other direction in this one, and maybe they'll find that balance. Where you can have that element and have those ties that we can latch onto, but still really feature, the big fighting monster thingies, which are fun.
It's because I feel like this one overcorrected by adding more human stuff for me personally, because critics really hated King of the Monsters. That's my favorite one because that is just different kaiju every 30 minutes. It has Rodan and my girl Mothra, who I'm repping today, and King Ghidorah, and it does it with this gravitas every time one of them is introduced, that I felt was kind of missing a little bit in this one. Though my and I critique it because I love it. I love kaiju films, but I wish that they had taken in King of the Monsters, you see everything from the kaiju perspective for the most part. There's a lot of top-down shots, and there's a lot of direct line of vision shots with with the kaiju. Whereas so much of Godzilla versus Kong is from the human. There's so many bottom-up shots. There's so many human perspectives, and that kind of hurt it for me because they did it Kong and Godzilla didn't feel as grandiose as say Ghidorah, appearing for the first time, or even Rodan busting out of a volcano. And I kind of missed some of those moments for me, because I felt there was a lot of, we have to talk about Kong's surrogate daughter. So it was weird because a lot of people share that, what you just said, they overcorrected with just monsters, and I feel like I'm the one person who's I didn't get enough monsters. We see Kong and Godzilla fight all of 2 fights, the last fight which is sectioned into 2 things, and I would have liked more. I would have liked more of them battling it up.
Well, it was
which all of this is to say, the movie still slaps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll watch it a 4th time.
Yeah. Well,
I will disagree a little bit about. I thought it had just enough of. I think it could have done with more fighting, obviously, but I thought they did that really well. And it doesn't spoil anything. But at the end of the movie, Kong and Godzilla are fighting, obviously, and I had to pause the movie because I started cracking up because. At one point, Kong jumps on Godzilla's back and puts him in a chokehold, and then Godzilla bites his arm, and I laughed. It's not a spoiler.
Oh,
it's in the
I don't know. I don't want to spoil
it.
it.
Yeah. But I had to laugh because it was almost like my cousin and I choreographed that fight. Because as a kid, that's exactly how I'd put him in a chokehold and then he'd bite my arm, and I was like, it's an interesting dynamic between the two where it's not just we're giant fighters. It's little detail, which I thought was really cool.
I really enjoyed on the fighting front. What I really enjoyed is we got to see Godzilla in his actual element. We get to see Godzilla water fight.
Yeah,
that is amazing. And they brought in oh, go ahead.
You get it so early. They hit you with that so early in the movie, and it's so good.
It's real. I got to see Godzilla barrel roll and tail whip and become the whole alligator that he is part.
All right, that's Kate Sánchez from But Why Tho. We love when you come onto the show. I do want you to give a quick shout out because you had Kaiju Week leading into this. You've been so excited for Godzilla versus Kong. Was Kaiju Week all you had hoped it would be?
It was. We had quite a few people in the Discord every night. Real hyped. I think Skull Island actually had the most people in it because a lot of people hadn't seen that one. So it was really awesome to see people get introduced, and a lot of people watch stuff for the first time. We're closing out the week tonight with Pacific Rim, which is one of my favorites because mechs and kaiju.
Which I've never seen all of, so I might have to hop on there tonight.
Yes, it's so good. And you get Idris Elba saying, "Today we're going to cancel the apocalypse," which is just a very good line.
Well, we look forward to it. You can find out more at butwhythopodcast.com, links to the Discord and all the information you need to get involved with the But Why Tho community, which is an outstanding community. Kate, we love having you and a lot of your contributors on each Thursday at 7:25.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy that you've seen it 3 times. Are you going to go see it right now? 4 times? Let's go.
I will probably put it on while I work today. That one or King of the Monsters. One of the two.
I love it. Kate Sánchez, thank you so much for joining us on GMS.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
That's
Bye.
so much fun. I love, like I said, the passion behind the movies and the eagerness to celebrate all things kaiju. And that Kaiju Week sounds like it's been a big hit, a lot of fun for everybody. And so looking forward to seeing it end with